Oh my gosh, here I am after all this time. I'm back. Look, the hair hasn't changed. My glorious mug hasn't changed that much. My shirt hasn't changed, but my background has changed a little bit. Why is that? Well, I'll tell you. It's because we are preparing to evacuate this home, not because of the wildfire smoke, although that is horrible right now here in the Northwest, but because we're actually selling our home. And we went on a 2-week vacation and went camping, and now we are back here doing the final steps, preparing to move out of this home. And so I've been disassembling things. So I'm kind of camping now, and that's it. I guess the wood smoke helps with that experience, unfortunately. But here I am. I'm back here in this space with all of you. It's so great to see you. Hi, Eric. Good to see you. Thanks for popping in. What am I doing today? Well, first of all, new time, right? I'm usually here in the mornings, the same time that Ben does the coffee workshop. However, I've switched to an afternoon time on Wednesdays. So I'll be here on Wednesdays at noon Pacific Standard Time, 3 o'clock over on the other coast. That's what you should expect. And then we're actually going to be moving my little studio here over to similar to what Brendan has over in Florida, to our tasting room in Olympia. So I'm working on that process right now. So the next time you see me probably won't be the same Batdorf time. It will be the same Batdorf channel, but it will be a different Batdorf location. And if you get that joke, you're older than me. So what are we going to do today? Well, I will tell you, we're going to focus on a couple of things. What I'm really excited about, though, is not just the new coffee that we have, right, which is our Guji. You know the name Guji. It's a group of producers in Ethiopia that we've been working with, a region we've been working with for a while. This is a new area, the Shakiso. It is a natural coffee. I'm obviously excited. We'll talk about that coffee. But probably more important for this little broadcast here, we're going to be doing an overview of, we're going to be following along with a tutorial that's been created. A series of tutorials that Brendan's worked on really hard down out of the Florida offices to create for a bunch of brewing methods. So you guys know that we have we've worked on a bunch of different processes for you as we've done these live videos. Any type of processing for the coffee to make it at home, with whether it's French press, AeroPress, V60, pour over, home brewers, cowboy coffee, and you can go back through our videos and see those being demonstrated. But we thought it would be good to create some permanent tutorials for you. So if you go to our YouTube page, you can find just Batdorf and Bronson Coffee Roasters on YouTube. You'll see these lovely videos. We're going to go through one in just a little bit to brew that's correct, this lovely Guji coffee. So I'm going to follow along and we'll see if I'm able to keep up, right? Okay. So let's take a look at the components of aroma and flavor that are in this new natural processed coffee. You'll see on the label it talks about berries, very fruit forward because it's natural processed, blackberry, blueberry, and then the spice we're really targeting specifically as nutmeg, right? So those are the elements that we have on display as far as the components of the coffee. Again, why is it fruit forward? A lot of you probably know why. It's because it is a naturally processed coffee. What does that mean? Well, let's hop over to our website and let's talk about that a little bit. So if you go over to the Batdorf and Bronson site, you'll see right off the bat, we have it featured here, our Ethiopia Guji Shakiso. Once you go there, you can actually pop right over to the page for the Ethiopia. And right there in that second paragraph, you'll see that it talks about naturally processed and fruit forward and tantalizing aromatics. So you might be asking if this is the first time you've heard us talk about coffees being naturally processed. What does that mean? Well, what it means is that the coffee is picked ripe on the tree, and then rather than having the fruit cleaned off of the seed that we're trying to get to, we let that coffee is actually allowed to dry in the sun, often on elevated beds, and the fruit just dries around the seed, and it creates a very different set of aromas and flavors for you to experience. So that is what we talk about with natural process, and that is why we highlight when we talk about this coffee the elements of the fruit-forward qualities of the coffee. As always, I'd like to ask you to come over and look at the view the detailed coffee report when you're taking a look at these coffees. We have this lovely report made up. It's the work is by Bob. He talks about the coffee. He deals with the producers. In this case, this being a new area that we're trying coffee from, I want to point out something really special. The Sawana Group, who we're buying this coffee from, it's about 35 different producers. So a relatively small group of African farmers who are producing this coffee for us. They're able to both wash the coffee and produce it naturally. We've chosen to have the natural processed coffee in this case. Always check those out, please. We are always working, as with these videos, with our tutorials. If you work with us from a wholesale perspective, we're always working to try and lessen the gap between the person drinking the coffee and the people growing the coffee. And this is just one of those tools we have to try and do that, so that you get a sense of where this coffee is coming from, who we're working with to get this coffee to you. So it's always nice to check those out, I think. Okay, so are we ready to try this out? I have my setup here. I have my scale, right? I have a vessel to capture the coffee. I have a V60 brewer, and the filter is in. I have the coffee pre-measured and ground, and I think we're ready to go here. I'm gonna switch over to this view here. I've opened up the video, and then I'm just gonna kind of let it roll, and I'll follow it along, and I'll talk a little bit while we're brewing it. Okay, so let's see if I can follow. If I can follow it, you can do it. You know what I mean? All right, so here we go. Let's try it out. All right, Hario V60. I got it. Yep, there it is, right there, right there. Okay, we got kettle. Yep, I have that right here. There it is. All right, I've filled it with water already. I've used filtered water. Right, good to go so far. I have my scale. Oh, it looks so familiar. I have a vessel. I have the Hario on top. Let's see what I have to do next here. Okay, that is in. I've folded it over. So you fold that little seam over, and it's been placed in. All right, I'm gonna do a little bit of that. Okay. I will take this off, and I will empty it. My coffee has been ground. I'm going to turn this on. Okay, in it goes. All right. All right. Ah, my spoon is gone. It's okay. I should have. I don't have anything to back up. I didn't make a spoon. All right, 45. Let's try again here after a few seconds. This really filled with the 300 milliliters. Okay, it's aggressively filled. We're gonna pause this here because now I realize it's got all these steps here moving forward, but of course I have to wait for it to move through its process. So I put it up to 300 grams, 300 milliliters of water in here, and it's beginning to drain, of course. And I'm gonna add a little more, another 200. And it's asking me also to pull the coffee away from the edges. I'm going to see what tool I have back here on my magic shelf that I can do that with, because I don't have my spoon. Oh, Ben. Ben is going to love me for this. Ben Jones, I'm sorry. Look what I do have access to. I have my stirring paddle for my AeroPress. I'm going to use that. There we are. I'm going to fill it on the last 200 like it told me to do, to get up to 500. You might notice the sound of someone trying to get into my office here. That is my son, who is at home. He's now threatening me that he is the FBI. He's going to break open the door. I've locked it. He can't. All right. The last thing that we just saw the video doing was swirling this, and you see this doing this with a lot of our pour overs. And again, that's trying to get the coffee off the sides of the filter back into that mass of water, into the slurry. Son, I'll be done in just a moment. Can you give me a second? Okay. Okay. So there we are, swirling. And we're trying to incorporate it into the brew, as the video says. All right, and there you can see the edges there, relatively dry. And you can see my coffee is also beginning to get to that point of, oh, look at that. Nice. Oh, sly. Awesome. Great video for sure. We'll put it on pause here. All right, that was really cool. Brendan, thank you so much for making those for us. Folks, go and check them out. I put a link in here so you can see it, see them. I'm gonna pull this off here. I have my coffee now. Delicious. Oh yeah. I'm gonna let it cool a little bit before I drink it, just because I want to chill down a little bit, so I can get all those flavors that we talk about, and those the aromatics as well can kind of be compromised by the heat. So I'm gonna let it cool down a little bit before I decant it and drink it. But in those moments while I'm waiting, I'm going to say, folks, go jump onto the website. You'll see that we have our 10% discount available for you. Please use it for this new coffee. We have more new coffees coming as well. We'll be talking about those in the months ahead. So look for those. We'll talk about them here. Again, we're going to be doing the shows a little bit differently here, not the daily 9 o'clocks. I know for the next couple weeks we're going to, Ben is taking some time off, so Brendan and I will be filling in for him. Brendan filled in for him just this last Monday. I'm here on Wednesdays at noon as I transition my little studio over to our tasting room at Olympia. And then we'll see you in this space at later times during the day on the West Coast and the East Coast as we adjust how we do our live shows. It's great to see you again. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for visiting the YouTube site so you can see our tutorials. Thanks, of course, always for enjoying our coffee. We love sourcing it for you. We love roasting it for you. We love preparing it with you and sharing it with you in this world where we continue to turn our homes into cafes. Take care. I look forward to seeing you in this space and other spaces soon.